So much smoke and haze in the skies covering all the views today. I guess with that in mind, what was going on today? I guess in terms of the news, it's kind of continuation of yesterday where all those stories of drones bombing areas in Ukraine, and I guess everybody's arming up. Depending on what side you're in, I guess various news would be good or bad for you, I guess. It says NATO to equip Ukraine with anti-drone systems amid Russian strikes Stoltenberg. Because I guess for all those drones to, I guess, make it through to the city, something didn't work in terms of their security. It says here, NATO will deliver air defense systems to Ukraine in coming days to help the country defend itself against the drones, including those from Iran, that Russia is using to target critical infrastructure, the alliance's Secretary General said on Tuesday. Ukraine said attacks by a swarm of drones had destroyed almost a third of its power stations over the past week after Russia stepped up its attacks on infrastructures far from the front line after suffering a string of military setbacks at the hands of Ukrainian troops. And as they say, it says the most important thing we can do is deliver on what allies have promised to step up and deliver even more air defense systems. It almost seems like they pretty much are in a war with them, even though I know the technicality is we're just supplying them equipment and all that. And then on the flip side, I guess here there's talks on how Iran's providing Russia with various, I guess, drones, the ones they're using. It says NATO will in the coming days deliver counter-drone systems to counter the specific threat of drones, including those from Iran. Iranian officials told Reuters that Tehran had promised to supply Russia, whose military efforts in Ukraine are being hampered by Western sanctions, with missiles as well as more drones. And with that, they say no one should be supporting Russia, and I suppose if anybody does, they will consider them an enemy, I guess, per se. Again, it just depends on what side you're on. I guess the information is probably so different for a lot of people. It just makes the whole thing ultimately come down to everyone's gonna potentially kill each other, right? And I guess with that in mind about these drones, what are they using specifically? It's kind of interesting. This one says, killer drones vie for supremacy over Ukraine. They are precise, small in size, able to effectively penetrate air defenses when fired in groups, and above all, they're cheap. In Russia's invasion of Ukraine, killer drones have cemented their reputation as a potent, cost-effective weapon that can seek out and destroy targets while simultaneously spreading the kind of terror that can fray the resolve of soldiers and civilians alike. That actually makes me think of the events, I guess, last year between Israel and Palestine, where they were on one side firing a bunch of cheap missiles, even though one side has more sophisticated stuff. If you keep firing, I guess, the cheaper, more abundant types of ammunition, then eventually you'll probably get at least one through, so you'll just be overwhelmed and you're going to use, I don't know what it is, something way more expensive to take down one of this inexpensive, I guess, missile, or in this case drone. It says drones, remote controlled or pre-programmed, have been used extensively in battle to gather intelligence, direct artillery strikes, and to the lesser extent, drop explosives. There are many types of sophisticated unmanned combat aerial vehicles that can launch missiles, such as the US-made Predator, are better known. The Shahed drones that Russia has rebranded as Garand 2 are far cruder. Packed with explosives, they can be pre-programmed with the target's GPS coordinates. They are known as suicide drones because they nosedive into targets and explode on impact like missiles. It's kind of interesting because remember that video yesterday where those police officers were firing at the drone and it looked like it blew it up? Some people are claiming they didn't even take it down. It basically landed like as, I guess, well, kind of intended. That was the claim anyways. But either way, again, everybody's arming each other up. And in kind of a random news, are every billionaire just trying to buy, I guess, some kind of social media platform, I guess, for their voice and all that? This one says what? Ye, formerly known as Kanye West to acquire Parler platform. Parliament Technologies announced today that it has entered into agreement in principle to sell Parler, the world's pioneering uncancelable free speech platform, to Ye, formerly known as Kanye Wes. Ye has become the richest black man in history through music and apparel, and is taking a bold stance against his recent censorship from big tech, using his far-reaching talents to further lead the fight to create a truly non-cancelable environment. That's kind of interesting when they say not cancelable, because I remember for this platform, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of stores like Apple, for example, they actually took it out of the actual store for people to download, so I don't think you can say you're uncancelable in that sense. This is just one of those things that are very political, right? Where one side hates the other. As for myself, always it just comes down to just show me the facts and all that. I don't really care about these politics of this and that, because it just seems like people use that as a way to get people to hate each other and not focus on like facts and all that. But either way, again, what's with all these billionaires and stuff buying up platforms and all that, I definitely have no doubt that it's been happening in recent times, where it seems like, depending on what type of opinion you have, a lot of big tech, if that's what you want to say, they do censor people. So it makes you wonder, in this case, are people buying these platforms out of, quote, necessity because they have a view that people don't agree with, or are they doing it to try to, I guess, force their views per se on other people more once they own it? So I don't know, it really depends, but I guess we'll have to wait and see, huh? Alright, see you guys later.